Construction. Maria, you grew up and you...
For chef, when I talk about meta learning and DIS, like deconstruction, selection, sequencing, I put
our Smart Office project last week on our deconstruction.
How, in reality, did this deconstruction come about?
In
Sense of
deconstruction,
superiority.
exactly. Oh, this is like a product of all kinds of outmoded, racial or
campaign gave the most eloquent deconstruction of gross national product that ever has been. And he finished his talk with the phrase that the gross national product measures everything except that which makes life worthwhile. How crazy is that?
That way. So what it ended, and if you take it further and you get to deconstruction, the idea is that every text contains internal contradictions that render it meaningless or render it incapable of transmitting meaning. So I got to Brown. I wanted to be a writer already.
Yeah.
And they were telling me the author was dead, and I was not even alive hardly yet, and I didn't want the author to die. And they were telling me that you couldn't write books that would have any meaning. So I was attracted to the thought, but I was also depressed by the thought, and I've continued to be of two minds on the subject, and a book like The Marriage Plot comes out of that struggle intellectually, though it's not.
The orbitals would do. We'll talk about that deconstruction in just a second. The point is that we can take the atomic orbitals and we can think about hybridizing them with each other. So let's go ahead and look at another hybridization combination. There's other ways that we can hybridize these, and I hope you're familiar with these. So let's suppose I take one of these orbitals and I mix it with those others. I'll be left with one of the p orbitals, but I still have three other orbitals left.
The articulation of the word, the practice, the program of deconstruction with translation. It's only after, and in the context of the great project of the Vocabulaire Européen de Philosophie, that this articulation takes shape, and that project takes shape in two informing contexts. First, the political-economic conjuncture in which globalization and translation, even translatability, seem to go in hand, both inasmuch as natural language translation is the instrument for globalization, and inasmuch as the economics of globalization depends upon the notion that the value of commodities is translatable across markets.
It's on the deconstruction of a magazine called Schema.
And the real deconstruction of the category of race, and that we're different, and that that there used to be a pyramid of some people are better than other people.
Store and double negative. So there's a big kind of deconstruction of the film Gravity in the exhibition, looking at the work of Tim Weber, who was the Oscar-winning visual effects director on that film.
Was slightly a deconstruction of the context. Because you will see, I took this photo, so you will see from my position where I'm standing. All right, so I'm standing behind the group.
Would be in an effects chain deconstruction where you could estimate the different effects that producers have applied to breakbeats. So if you have an original breakbeat and then you have a final tune that uses that breakbeat, what effects were applied to make that happen? What parameters of those effects were applied to make that happen?
About finding out about the deconstruction class at GRCC through Link and, of course, GRCC, I would have never been sitting here where I am today. Before I talk.
Gender deconstruction, or to put it in the shorthand of feminist history, they're stuck. in feminism's second wave, where everything